Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. I hope you can hear me. Kale, if I go a lot over my 15 minutes, please let me know. The New Horizon Euro program will launch its work programs in 5-10 days from now, definitely before the end of June. So although I know that there are versions that are circulating out there, it is extremely important to wait for the official version to come out. Following all the discussions that we have in with ENRIO, we have drafted the work programs in a way that allows for possible participation. It's up to ENRIO in all our calls. We have 3 calls for the period 21-22. There is 2 calls in 21 and 1 call in 2022. So it's the challenges of research ethics and integrity in response to the crisis, the pandemic, and the challenges that we all faced. There's going to be a specific discussion later on or in the program. The second call is the question of ensuring reliability and trust in quality of research ethics expertise in the context of new and emerging technologies. This is a challenge, again, that we face. We read all the time the call of one of artificial intelligence researcher to his community to commit misconduct in order for people to start paying attention is becoming viral these weeks. So we know how important it is. And at 2022, we have a call on the empirical and behavioral approaches to research ethics and integrity. Mind you, if I do not, or you don't see research integrity always mentioned in our official documents or even in our calls, although we try always to mention it, it's because that in the legislator mind, in Horizon Europe, research integrity is under ethics. So when we talk about ethics, most of the times we talk about research ethics and research integrity. So the first call is on the lessons learned from the pandemic and preparedness. And there you will see that inside the call, we already have included the must cooperation with the ENRIO, which is, I think, the first time that it appears as a strong push for the people that will participate and will win the call, obviously, to establish collaboration with ENRIO. And there it is in particular for a bottom-up approach with all the stakeholders to organize workshops, to organize consultations, basically to build this kind of ownership procedure for the people that have been touched, the people that participated, and the people that have developed, even as we go along, guidelines or procedures within the research, within the research environment under the pandemic. So this is an important element of the lessons learned that we do not want to miss. And this particular call has a number of actions where we hope that ENRIO will participate in all of them. So the identification of policy options, how do we do things better the next time? Operational how-to guidelines for the work of the research teams. We see how important that is, especially with the experience that we have the last year. Revisiting, not officially, but revisiting parts of the European code in order to supplement, as the code itself states, that there will be specific guidelines that will come out from the different activities in order to enhance the popularity, let's say, of the code. And of course, online training material for universities, research centers, anybody interested to use in order to educate and to promote research integrity at the local level. Open access material, of course, that can be easily accessible by everybody. The second call in next year, 2021, sorry, this year, is the availability and reliability of expertise in the area of research ethics and research integrity. With emerging technologies in particular, we see that there is an urgent need for this kind of expertise to be available. it is not readily available, or if it is available, it's hiding very well. But we need to build up this availability of the expertise in order, again, for research teams to be able to do the work under the advice, help, and promotion of the ethics and research integrity principles from well-trained, well-versed experts that will either review or will be built in the research protocols when those are taking place. Again, there you see that we are wishing for a structured cooperation with ENRIO and ENRI. ENRIO is in particular of our interest today. And by structured cooperation, we mean that ENRIO should not be only there as a member of a scientific committee. It should be part of the consortium. It has to be built in the consortium. So, and of course, this can happen only if ENRIO wishes to do so. But it's an opportunity, it's a good opportunity to be part of the consortium and participate in all the work that is that will be taking place. In order to also be benefiting ourselves from the work that will happen in this consortium, we will provide you, if you like, with a ready, available group of experts that are participants in the Horizon Europe Research Ethics exercise, in order for them to be trained and in order for them to be helping the consortium increase the reliability of the training material, of the information flow that they will produce for availability to everybody else too. So it's going to be, we said 250 to 300 experts available for the consortium to be trained and to be help to promote the ethics and research integrity principles. But actually, the database includes more than 700 experts. So this is a minimum. We can provide a bigger sample if that is what is wished for. Again, the expertise is not only with the consortium that will win the call, but it requires collaboration with all the university and the research networks, and we present there some of them. Those are not exclusive. So you see that we are trying to build a consortium that will have an access and try to have access to the whole range of expertise and networks. And lastly, but as importantly, for us in 2022, we are launching this study, which is trying to answer this €1 million question. The negative aspect is why good people do bad things. We like to promote the positive aspect and say why should good people continue doing good things. And this is extremely, it's an extremely important difference. But obviously both aspects of preventing bad things from happening and continue doing good things will be examined, should be examined under the consortium. There we have this, the actions that are at our outline, the identification of the needs, of the current needs of improving the institutional research culture. We know how important this is in the current state of affairs. Specific course material, of course, always to be able to train and improve the uptake of integrity and research and ethics principles. And of course, again, guidelines, and this is extremely important because that's what the member states, the EU member states are asking for. They want both training material to train their staff, but also guidelines in order for the practitioners to be able to have an access to further advice at the European level. Of course, methodologies to improve the impact of the ethics and integrity trainings. We know that there is a lot of discussion about how impactful those trainings are. What we always say is that you can take a horse to water, you cannot make it drink. But nevertheless, because it's public money, we have to find out, we have to improve the effectiveness of all these efforts, because we are using money from the common pot, and we need to show that our efforts are effective. And a best practice manual based on case studies. We would like to see some case studies. This is one of the best ways that we have currently, in education and training. People learn by reading other cases instead of only the theoretical part of the work. And in this consortium, and in all consortium from now in 2021 and 22, but also our intention is, depending on the experience from 21, to continue making the participation of bodies like ENRIO a call specific condition, which means that all participants or proposals will have to be in touch with ENRIO. ENRIO should be there in the winning consortium. So ENRIO, in a sense, does not need to compete with itself. We have best practice, and we know how to do that properly from participation of other European networks, and we can exchange specifically with ENRIO in order to find out what is the best way of collaboration. But it's extremely important that for us, that ENRIO is present in, if not all our calls, in most of our calls, in order to be able to bring the experience from its members, the knowledge from the member states, the practical knowledge of what it is to actually try to promote research integrity at the national and at the local level, and of course, as importantly, the knowledge of how easy or difficult it is to try and resolve misconduct cases at the national and local level. Those are important lessons that we have to bring up in addition to what ENRIO is doing with its own activities, but also through the Horizon Europe or the framework program calls, in order to be able to make that knowledge a lot more accessible and a lot more widely distributed, including non-EU partners, including the world. You will see, you saw, I think, in one of the slides, and it's in most of the slides, that we are also have a specific condition, participation from non-EU countries, from specific non-EU countries, because those are countries that we are currently in negotiation, in order to enhance the visibility and the impact of the European approach. This inclusive approach will continue in the next work programs that we are preparing now. So also for me, it's important to be here, because I think I will get ideas from the discussions in the next sessions, in order also to feed the knowledge that goes into building our work programs for 23 and 24. And in closing, in a sense, the ball is now in ENRIO's court, and I hope that ENRIO as a network will pick up this opportunity in order to participate in the European activities more actively, in the framework program European activities more actively than before. Thank you very much, and I'm here for any questions that you might have. Thank you. I think I'm well on time.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Isidoros. That was really an interesting talk, and also I'm sure there will be ENRIO members. So, Annie, I think there was only one question on how to get the slides. I would just be interested in how we can get more details, maybe more information on these projects, I guess, on the website. And maybe you can say, are there any deadlines that we have to keep in mind? That would be my question. So,
yeah, of course. this is the first official presentation that I have for our 3 topics. The work program has not been published officially yet. It will be the work program that contains those topics will be available before the end of June. We hope, if we don't have any delays. So there you will see the full information for the 3 calls, what is requested, what are the actions, and then consortium, teams of people, will start building up a proposal that will go through an evaluation in order for the winning proposal to be selected for funding. This will take approximately 8 months. So it is important to, and I think what's going to happen is that, sorry, I have to turn off my alarm. What is important is that the winning consortium will have easy access to ENRIO. And ENRIO, if it decides to do so, will respond positively or negatively. But ENRIO has to be, we want that ENRIO is in the bidding proposal.
Right.
Sorry, it got stuck for some reason.
Annie, do we have time for one more question? Because there is no one, or should we, for time reasons, move forward?
And the slides, of course, will be distributed. It's not a problem.
Yeah, I'm sure we can upload them on ENRIO's website.
We do have one question. Perhaps, I don't know if this requires a lengthy answer, but I'll throw it out there in any case. There's a question. As ENRIO aims to be present in all calls, will you select a consortium per call, or will you select, oh, I don't actually know how this continues. We'll select a consortium per call. Apologies, a bit unclear, but perhaps you got the gist of it.
Yes, we want that ENRIO is in the winning call. ENRIO does not have to participate in the winning bid. ENRIO does not have to be competing against itself. So what usually happens is, if the participation of ENRIO is mandatory for the winning bid, the applicants will contact ENRIO. And those details we'll discuss, I think, outside this workshop, how it can be done. Usually what we do is a letter of intent, so that ENRIO will collaborate with the winning bid, but also it can be much more specific. ENRIO can choose to participate more actively with a winning bid, with a bid, we don't know if it's going to be winning, in order to be able to build this kind of constructive participation. As I said, we don't want ENRIO to be just a member of an advisory committee. That's not enough. ENRIO has to be an active partner. It has to participate in the work and act as a member of the consortium. I hope that helps a little bit, but we can discuss it later on maybe.
Right. What I really like is that the European Commission actually really acknowledges the expertise of ENRIO, and that shows a lot of trust into the ENRIO members. And yeah, I think that was it with the questions. And then thank you again, Isidoros, for this great talk. And we will move on to our next speaker now. Yeah, thank you so much.